Okay, let's dive right into this. Welcome to The Explainer. I am thrilled to have you here today because we're looking at something absolutely fundamental. It's a psychological journey we basically all go through. We're going to explore exactly how the human mind processes difficult realities and unavoidable circumstances. It's a structured framework known as the 4 pillars of acceptance. If you've ever felt completely stuck in a tough spot, understanding how these pillars actually work is going to be an absolute game changer for your personal growth.
There is no problem. Yeah, right. This simple little quote perfectly captures the prelude to our journey. Denial. We've all been there, right? The roof is literally leaking, the deadline is totally blown, a relationship is falling apart, and the mind just goes, nope, there is no problem. It's a state of absolute zero awareness. It's kind of ironic, honestly, because the problem is usually towering right over us, but our ego just throws up this invisible shield to protect itself from the immediate pain.
But eventually that shield has to drop. Reality knocks on the door and it absolutely refuses to be ignored. So I want you to think about a tough circumstance you're dealing with right now, something completely unavoidable. How do you react? When that denial fades and the reality of the situation is staring you directly in the face, what's your mind's very first move? Hold that personal challenge in your head as we walk through this framework, because pinpointing exactly where you are on this map is the key to unlocking your emotional peace. And this brilliantly illustrates the 4 distinct, step-by-step psychological phases we're about to journey through. 1, resistance. 2, resignation. 3, acceptance. And 4, embracing. Let's break down exactly what happens in the brain at each of these crucial milestones. So, the initial reaction, the starting line. Once that illusion of denial completely shatters, the mind realizes it's under threat. And bam, it immediately goes on the defensive. It draws a battle line right in the sand. This is where the emotional heavy lifting truly kicks off. Pillar number 1 is resistance. This is our initial instinctual inclination to just fight an unpleasant situation. This phase is all about friction. It's tense. Your brain is basically screaming, "No way, this shouldn't be happening, this isn't fair, make it stop." It's a highly energized, fast-paced, and honestly, deeply exhausting state to live in because you're actively burning up emotional fuel trying to push a solid brick wall of reality out of your way. Let's move to and see how this builds into moving past resistance, because you can't push a brick wall forever, right? Eventually, your arms get tired, all that friction just burns you out, and you transition from that hot, fiery resistance into a heavier but much more realistic emotional state. You stop fighting the walls, sure, but you definitely aren't happy it's blocking your path. Welcome to resignation, the second pillar. The fight is over. You've acknowledged that the circumstance is real and unavoidable, but you are certainly not happy about it. It's the phase of the heavy sigh. It's that classic, well, I guess it is what it is mentality. You've completely surrendered to the facts, but your emotional state is still weighed down by this profound unhappiness regarding those facts. Now, here's the critical shift. For a lot of people, the journey just stops right there at resignation. They live the rest of their lives unhappy about unavoidable facts. But there is a massive leap to be made here. The jump from mere resignation to our next phase is where the deepest, most vital emotional evolution actually happens. This is the turning point of the whole shebang. It's where you finally drop the emotional baggage. Which brings us to the 3rd pillar, acceptance. Recognizing the reality of a situation without despair or discomfort. Notice how calm that sounds? The friction of resistance? Gone. The heavy sigh of resignation? Gone. True acceptance is defined by that crucial second half of the sentence, without despair or discomfort. It's a state of total neutrality. You see the unavoidable circumstance exactly for what it is, completely unclouded by anger, wishful thinking, or bitterness. The brick wall is there, and you're just simply at peace with its presence. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the contrast. It's so easy to confuse these 2 middle phases, but the micro distinctions are absolutely critical. Resignation is the heavy burden of giving up, acknowledging but not happy about it. You're kind of still playing the victim. Acceptance, on the other hand, is the piece of clarity, recognizing without despair or discomfort. Resignation literally drains you, acceptance stabilizes you. Reaching the climax. Look, stabilization isn't the end of the road for us. We're moving into the final stage now, taking that neutral acceptance and injecting it with some serious proactive energy. The 4th and final pillar is embracing. This is the climax of our chronological journey, and honestly, it's often the most challenging step. You aren't just resisting or resigning or passively accepting the wall anymore. You are looking at that unavoidable reality and choosing to embrace it. You're pulling it right into your life, finding the hidden value in it, and letting it shape you for the better. It is a remarkably uplifting and energetic state of mind. So, the crucial point is, why does the source material explicitly note that embracing is the most challenging step? Well, because it requires a massive paradigm shift. Actually, scratch that. It's more like a total rewiring. It's incredibly difficult to take a reality that you initially fought tooth and nail against back in the resistance phase and then actively choose to welcome it. It demands vulnerability, supreme adaptability, and a real willingness to see an unpleasant situation not just as a neutral fact, but as an active, useful ingredient in your life's journey. It's the ultimate transmutation of adversity. We've moved from the blinders of denial through the friction of resistance, past the heavy sighs of resignation, into the calm clarity of acceptance, and finally up to the transformative heights of embracing. So I'm going to leave you with this final provocative question. Which phase are you currently trapped in regarding a personal challenge? Seriously, look closely at your own life through the lens of these 4 pillars. Are you wasting your energy resisting? Are you silently suffering in resignation? The map is right in front of you. The next step in your emotional evolution is waiting.